Because you guys, I'm down there with you during the games and pregame, and you guys have fun.
Yeah.
Like y'all are really enjoying football. Yeah. Like you're like a couple of kids, and you're taking digs at each other, but you're competitive. Like you guys have fun on game day, don't you?
We do. At the end of the day, you know, it's a children's sport, but it's a man's game is the best way I can put it. You know, we've been playing this game for a long time, and it's always going to be fun to the day I stop playing. But you know, when you got guys like Bash, it makes it that much more enjoyable. I will say I think I probably talk more trash than him, at least for the course of the game. You know, I can keep up with that all game. I don't think he can. But he's not here to really, you know, vouch for himself.
He says he's the energy guy.
He's the energy guy. He's the guy he's the hype man. He's the guy you want with you pregame and on the sideline if you're down a little bit. But hands down, I think I talk the most trash on the whole defensive unit.
There's
children,
no way. The answer to your question is no.
Is there a PG version of something you said this
Probably
game?
not.
Okay.
No, I don't even know if I can try to do that for you.
No.
After the show, in the break.
After the show,
please don't. But what I would like to know is, can you get an offensive tackle to talk back to you and throw him off his game?
Oh, yeah. They usually do. Early on, there's a select few that didn't this year. But early on they do, and like we talked about earlier, you break their will, you get a sack on them, they get kind of quiet, and that's happened the last few weeks. We just keep pressing, and eventually those guys break down. They don't have the energy to sit there and talk with you all game.
Have you ever made Tyron say anything besides a grunt in any practice?
No, I made him laugh.
Yeah.
When I try to beat him and he just picks me up like a little kid or something. But I've never, no. Other than that, you'll get a little grunt here and there and a good move right there. That's about it. That's about it. That's all you're going to get from him, Good dude, but, that's about it.
Would you believe we actually had him here a couple of weeks ago? He did this show. He's done it. He's done it every year.
A lot.
He's done it every year.
Other than grunts?
Yes.
Other than
really?
Grunts.
Yes.
Other than grunts. So
no, I believe it.
It's possible.
He's a good guy. He speaks well when he does speak, but he's locked in so much. I feel like when he's on the field, that just phases out.
Tyron's a simple soul. Mm-hmm. You're a little more complicated, and it's one of.
I would definitely agree with that.
And it's one of the things we love about you. And we're gonna. I say all the time, for the decades I've been doing this, that. My favorite part of this show is that it gives the public a chance to meet you guys as human beings and see your senses of humor and the things that concern you, and you're not just a number on a shirt with a cage on your head. And I love that part of it, and I could not be more delighted to have the full Randy Gregory experience with us tonight. Yeah, this is
a long time
this is good. Yes, it has, and there's so much more to come.
Yes, sir.
You know what, Randy? When it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, you should go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. You can get 10% off your groceries every Cowboys game day if you wear your jersey after the game in there to shop, or before the game.
I was going to say, what about before the game?
He can go before if it's a night game. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys.
What would you give to see Randy Gregory at 8 o'clock Sunday morning before a noon game?
Full uniform?
Stroll into your Tom Thumb in his jersey.
A lot.
You wouldn't see it. Wouldn't happen.
Never say never.
No offense to Tom Thumb or Albertsons.
No, never say never. Yeah. You got anything else you want to throw in there?
You know what? Lucchese usually take this one, but I'll do it. Lucchese,
I want you to.
They're the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
It's the Cowboys Hour on what?
Victory Monday. Let's go.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with Randy Gregory in just a moment.
Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
And welcome back, and thank you, those of you who are joining us wherever you are joining us on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network, and especially those of you who are here at the Ford Center at the Star. Come on out, be part of our little group on almost every Monday night, and you can stream it during the week whenever you like on DallasCowboys.com. Brad Sham, Shannon Gross, and Randy Gregory.
Mr. Randy Gregory.
You know, I feel like, so you were drafted in 2015, right? And officially, this is your fourth year, but you're 7 years into it. And, But I feel like you're just starting your career. Do you feel that way?
I mean, games-wise, I think I haven't played that many, so legs are still somewhat fresh. I mean, I still have little nicks here and there, but for the most part, my body feels like it's still like in my second, third year,
But you have these accumulated years of knowledge and experience, but now with I don't know if it's just this year but in the last certainly year and a half, 2 years, it feels like, it looks like, look from the outside, that you have a whole new command of your life, and you know now how to live your life and maximize the platform you've been given via the gifts you've been given.
Definitely.
Does that all that make sense?
Yeah, I think it starts with me being grateful and understanding my blessings, for one. I've always said, like, my personal life and professional life kind of go hand in hand, and when I'm struggling on one side of it, I'm struggling on the other. And I think last year, was the first time I could really say I had everything in order at once, and it actually gave me a chance to really focus on football and get better mentally around the game. I think physically I've always been there. I needed to get a little bit stronger, I think, in the game, but as far as like mentally, that was one of the things I always needed to work on. Understanding the why, the whys of everything I'm doing, whether it be a pass rush or a particular formation, whatever it may be. And that's the same thing off the field. Why am I doing this? Is this beneficial to me? Is this going to hurt what I'm doing? Is this going to affect my family, my future, things like that? And I've always said I still make mistakes, and I probably still make as many mistakes as I did before, but they're not as bad, and I'm a lot better as far as kind of picking myself back up and, getting the ball rolling again and things like that. And that's kind of like what we talked about with the neutral mindset. That goes obviously in your personal life too. So.
But you're not making the same kinds of mistakes all the time as you did before, are you?
No, well, it depends on who you ask, probably.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
I still get in trouble here and there at home. I still annoy my mom here and there. I'm sure I annoy my kids, obviously. But, the good thing is like I said, I have everything in order. Everyone knows I have good intentions, and, I mean well, and I only want what's best for myself and everyone around me. So.
And by the way, that when you say that, my sense is that's not in a selfish way. No. What's best for yourself, because when one travels the road you have traveled to get here, what's good for yourself means, just tell me if I'm wrong about this.
Good for everyone else. Right?
Well, it means what's healthy for you,
definitely.
And therefore mentally and physically and emotionally, and therefore everyone you touch is going to benefit from that.
Definitely.
Am I okay with that?
I would agree. Yeah, I think I wouldn't say I'm selfish now, and if I am, it's in the right way. In the past, I definitely would say I was selfish. I'd like to think that I had a lot of help from all different angles, whether it be the team, my family. I mean, my parents basically moved down to Texas just to really help me, and I was real selfish around that time. No one could tell me anything. I felt like I had it all figured out, and I was going to go down crashing and burning if I had to. And it took me a while to realize what I was doing was really harming not only me, but, my family. And took me a while to just, as I see myself up there on the screen, sorry.
It's all right to want to look at yourself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's one of the things, now I can kind of take time to really appreciate some of the things I do on and off the field and, give myself a pat on the back, because a lot of times in the past I really couldn't do that. And I always saw the flaws in myself. So I'm definitely in a better place now than I was in the past. And, I mean, I get blessings every week just, being Randy Gregory. It's great.
Usually in life, we all continue to grow and we all, mature. Usually there's people along the way, both personal life, football's a job, work life. You have mentors, you have people that help you, guide you. And have there been any really strong influences with you that you talked about personal development and growing and things? Who's helped you along that way?
It's a big mix. As far as at home, I would definitely say, my girlfriend, she's my rock. I was hoping she'd be here tonight, but she keeps me sane when 99% of the time I feel like I'm insane. She keeps a tight leash on me, but it's a good thing. And like we talk about having roles at the teams, roles at home, and play my role well. So.
See, you're smart, which we knew.
Trying to stay out of trouble,
which we knew.
I learned from my dad, all those years I lived at home. But yeah, and then obviously my parents, I can't say enough about them as far as them helping me out, just anything I need, And, I talked about Rob Davis. He's been one of the guys that's helped me out, I'd say the most in the building as far as making sure my mind was right and having everything in order so I could really go out there and perform the best I can. And Coach AD, DQ, Coach McCarthy, I literally could, Coach Edwards, my agent. There's a lot of people, not just me, that played into, my progression to the point I am now. And I'm going to need just as many people and those same individuals to get, to where I want to go in the future.
So here's an example to me of your increased maturity. You seem to fully understand the benefit that can accrue from the way you embrace your story. People want to talk to you about it. People want to hear about it. I know that you have to be sick of talking about it sometimes, because the things that happened to you, the things that you did, just like any other human being, those things help shape who you are today, and they are not who you are. They are who you were sometimes. They were things you did. But your apparent, I would say, evidenced maturity in embracing that, yes, I know that people want to talk to me about it, and I've never heard or seen you be anything other than patient. Whatever you were feeling inside, what you exhibit is patience, and I'll talk to you about it, sure.
Yeah, I try to, because I understand the importance of it. Do I necessarily enjoy talking about it? Not all the time. You know that. Yeah. I don't. And I think that's more of just because of I don't feel like, and this goes with a lot of things in my life, but sometimes I don't feel like I'm that person that needs to be speaking about it, Sometimes I feel like my journey or my story isn't going to affect people the way I want it to, It may affect them in the right way, but not the way I want it to, And so if I don't have control over it, then I'm like, I don't want to, But just speaking about it and being genuine, being as honest as I can, I definitely know that helps. And there's people that tell me that all the time, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And it helps me kind of keep in check, because I do understand that I do inspire some people, and people do enjoy my journey and can relate to it also, So it does help me kind of, put myself in check. I wouldn't call it pressure, but definitely motivation to keep going and keep striving to be better on and off the field.
And the on-the-field part is what I would like to spend a little bit of time on when we come back. We are delighted to have Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory with us this evening. And delighted to have all of you with us on the Cowboys Hour.
At Omni Frisco Hotel, which Randy is right there.
Right there?
You can probably see your that's
Right
where you're
there?
seeing the video.
I was just up
in
there,
that
yeah.
reflection. Were you? Kick off your stay at the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys with style. Cool off in the elevated pool, savor upscale comfort food at neighborhood services, and enjoy all the dining and entertainment options the Star has to offer. And they have a lot to offer. Visit omnihotels.com/Frisco to learn more and to turn the next home game into a weekend getaway.
Randy Gregory's our guest
Hey.
tonight. We'll be right back on the Cowboys Hour.
The Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
And welcome back, Brad Sham, Shannon Gross, and Randy Gregory, the Cowboys star defensive end, who is just getting started. Just getting started. You know, I almost hate that guys who play your position are measured by a statistic like quarterback sacks, because I think that the way you're playing, I think one of the great things about DeMarcus Lawrence is the things that he does that don't have statistics with them that change a play in the defense's favor. I see a lot of that in you. And having said that, so you're at 5 sacks now through 7 games, and so you won't get to halfway point of the season until like halftime of Atlanta, which is 2 games down the road. Do you have statistical measurements for yourself that you are trying to achieve?
I'm trying to be the best at my position, you know, and be the best player I know how to be. I know it sounds like the right answer, but, that's the truth of it. Yeah, I want to lead the league in sacks. If, you want to hear that, yeah, I do.
Only want to hear it if it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
And if it's important. I mean.
It is. It is. I think at this point in my career, it is, obviously, for a few reasons. But like I've said in the past, I'll say it again, I think if I'm playing well and those numbers come that I want to have, that means that we're playing well collectively as a team.
So in training camp, when I watched you, of course, last year training camp was as ridiculous as everything else. But when we got out to Oxnard and I looked at you having seen your whole career, now I don't know if you were bigger than you were in the past. When you came in, you had bird legs. Your legs were so skinny.
I still do. What you mean?
But there is muscular definition.
They look bigger now because they're swollen. That's all.
Well, no. I looked at you in Oxnard, and I watched you a little bit, and I said, okay, first of all, he just looks bigger, but he hasn't lost a scintilla of quickness and speed. And I said, this is after about a week, I said, of any player on this team who's going to have a breakout year, of course, I had no idea Diggs was going to lose his mind and intercept 7 passes in the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But I said, of any player on this team, 94 is the guy who's going to have a breakout year. And would you say you're on track for that? I know you haven't done everything you've wanted to do yet. Yeah. You've even missed a game. Would you say you're on track?
Yeah. Took 7 years, but yeah, I would say it's I got to keep it going. I don't want to get too satisfied with my play and then have goose eggs throughout the rest of the year. But yeah, I mean, I'm confident in my play. I'm confident in my body. Despite what the little minor injuries you may have, getting my body to the right weight because it did fluctuate a lot. I think when I came in. The first time I weighed in with the Cowboys in 2015, I was like 228. And I was 238 at the combine. So that just, and so just get my body to the right weight. And I've played at the weight I'm at now, even in college at one point. So I've always been able to carry the weight and, keep that quickness and things like that. But I definitely feel like it's made me more of a complete player. Still have some things I got to work on as far as, being an all-down defensive end. But definitely think it's going in the right direction.
Brad was talking about stats that you can't really measure. Sacks, obviously, tackles, things like that. In seeing a professional football game at field level is a whole different kind of violence. Mm-hmm. And you are so fast, and you are so quick, and this year you're playing with violence. Mm-hmm. Can you tell when a quarterback gets scared? Can you see that in their eyes? What would your fear rating be in Madden?
No, I definitely could see them get scared. They I don't care who you are. You could be the greatest quarterback ever. You got guys, coming for your neck every play and hitting you. Eventually, that kind of gets in your head, and then
talking to you while you're laying on the ground, right?
It's some crazy type of violence that does go on out there. It really is. I joked about it at the Carolina game, just the amount of bodies that are just flying around the pocket. You could never pay me to be a quarterback in the league with the amount of abuse they take. But I'm happy to hand out that abuse. Yeah.
I will say this, though. It's not just quarterbacks. To me, and I know you've got an assortment of moves, and you're always working to improve them, but the most fearsome thing that I see you do is when you run the inside stunt. If a center looks up and sees you coming like a giant bird of prey flying out of the air, that's got to get your attention.
Yeah, it does. I think that's one of the things I talk about with Coach AD, just putting guys in a position to make a play and understanding what we do well. And I think for us, stunts and games, all of us on the D-line can move, and got a lot of guys that can flex in and play D-tackle, flex out and play in. And with that, we mix in all these different games and stuff like that. And it creates a pretty hectic pocket for, an opposing quarterback. Even if you're not sacking them, like we talked about having those numbers, just knocking him off his spot, getting in his face, hitting him, just pressuring him of any kind, is going to throw him off his game.
This is one of the things that intrigues me the most, and I find that fans really enjoy it. I think fans don't understand how often when you're running a game, it's not necessarily something that came in from the sidelines. You guys decide, hey, so let's pick a tackle, and let's say it's Osa.
Yeah.
How does that work? Talk us through that.
Well, I don't want to tell all our business, but
Well, no.
No. We just there's little things, there's little subtle things we'll do. If we can tell that it's going to be a pass play, let's say we're expecting a run, but we can tell it's going to be a pass just based off of how they're lined up. We'll do that, give a little signal or something on the side. We'll get out.
By the way, if you're watching on DallasCowboys.com, don't look. There was nothing to see here.
Nothing to see.
This is all radio.
The O-line doesn't see it either. That's
right,
why
there
it
you
works.
go. Okay, good.
But, no, we all have our own little subtle way of saying, okay, let's run this game. And there's also naturals. A lot of times, and I keep going back to this Carolina game, but even yesterday's game was similar where some quarterbacks, they don't drop back that deep, and they do have a real deep pocket that they can kind of hide and step up in. And a lot of times with that on the end, you have a guy like Osa, really all our D tackles that can really get upfield and penetrate. Let them go to work on the D tackle. I'm going to run upfield and naturally come under and not even touch the tackle and go in there and try to get a sack. And there's little things that I talked about earlier about mentally understanding the why and the hows and things like that. That's an aspect of my game that I didn't have coming into the league that I understand now, that you can pick up little sacks here and there, and you don't really have to do anything. You just fall right into it,
Well, I would say you don't have to do anything, but I mean,
not anything.
Do you
Still gotta play. Yeah.
Are you to the point with any of the tackles yet where you can just look at them, like look at each other and maybe nod your head or something, and everybody knows what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, generally we know. I mean, there's times even when we'll have our base package out there, and it's up to us to decide what we're going to run out there. And I think that speaks volumes as far as the coaches having trust in us, and we having trust in each other, and understanding the playbook and all the little things that goes into rushing the passer and just playing as a whole.
Shannon, I wonder if I might impose on you to make this right now this part that I've come to enjoy so much of this program every week.
Ah, yes, Randy. It's that time of the show where we read your Wikipedia page.
Oh, you got to skip through a lot of that.
I already did. I censored it for you. So we'll get to the stuff that we just want to know. You fact check this with us. We read it. I didn't put this down. This is what the people put down, and then you fact check it with us. And if it's wrong, I go back after the show and I update it.
Fair enough.
That's a lie. He's never done that. That's okay.
Brad's already given my gig up like 6 weeks into the season. So, all right, here we go. Randy Gregory says you were born November 23rd, 1992.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
Good so far. And it says you're an American football defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys of the National Football League.
Sounds about right.
All right, two for two. Played college football at Nebraska and was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the second round of the 2015 NFL Draft. All right. You were born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
It says, and you moved 8 different times.
That might be our first one here.
Okay. Which I thought was interesting that 8, they came up with 8.
It may have been 7 or 8. I was born in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. I lived in Tennessee. I lived in Alabama. I lived in Ohio. I lived in Missouri. I lived in Indiana. And technically, I've lived in Michigan also. And that's before I basically went to college. So
Wow.
That was 7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll have to update that from 8 to 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says you attended Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah, home of the Royals.
Where
Yeah.
you were a 2-sport star in football and basketball.
I was all right in basketball.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no.
I was all right.
When a guy says I was all right,
Yeah.
I was decent.
Well, this says, in addition to numerous scholarship offers in football, you also attracted Division I basketball interest out of high school.
They had a couple offers. Yeah.
Did you? Where at?
from
Mid-major, like MAC schools, like Eastern Michigan, stuff
those,
like that. Mid-major.
teams that make big splashes in the NCAA tournament every year.
Sometimes, yeah. There was what was it, St. Peter's? I don't know if you heard of them, St. Peter's.
Yes.
I think the year they were
In New Jersey?
Yeah, I almost played basketball. I almost quit football my senior year. Yeah, I loved basketball by the time I graduated high school, and seriously considered going to St. Peter's to play basketball there, and just didn't work out. Ended up going to junior college, but that following year, they were in the tourney for like 2 straight years. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to set up a one-on-one game with you and Zach Martin because, he was known as the Butcher in high school because of his basketball prowess.
I see a mocking sneer.
I see that.
Zach
I
went
think
to
we need to make
Bishop
this happen.
Chatard. He went to Bishop Chatard. They recruit people to play sports there. Yeah. I went to public school. We just.
Did you show
we just
up?
show up. You go to your 7 classes and
Same.
you play. He's got the tutor and all that. It's like college for him.
That's the kind of guy he is.
All right, we got 2 more paragraphs to get through here. It says, you enrolled at Arizona Western College.
Yeah.
Okay, as a freshman in 2011, you had some stats here, and you helped the team reach the NJCAA title game.
Yeah.
All right, and you originally committed to Purdue, but you went to Nebraska, and as a sophomore, you started 10 of 13 games, and your 10.5 sacks led the Big Ten Conference. You were named a first-team All Big Ten and was Nebraska's defensive MVP.
Yep.
Man,
Good year. Yeah.
And Sporting News listed you as their preseason number 5 player in college football for 2014. And it says in 2014, you also won the Nebraska State Corn Shucking Championship by shucking 183 ears of corn in 5 minutes.
Do y'all believe that? No?
That's
we fact checked that. No,
Okay.
that's not true.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not true.
I just threw that in as the
Nah,
bonus.
it's not
So,
true.
yeah, there you go.
There's the Wikipedia, Randy Gregory's Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
You who are here at the Ford Center, get your questions ready. We'll put the microphone out for you to talk to Randy Gregory when we come back.
the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Cowboys Hour. Brad Sham, Shannon Gross. Delighted to have Randy Gregory as our guest this evening, Cowboys' talented defensive end. How can you account for how you can be so introspective and clearly one of the smartest players we've ever had the opportunity to visit with, and then on Sunday just go completely berserk? How do you account for that?
That's my dad, to be honest. My dad was like that. He's a gentle giant. He's a big dude, kind of like me. I am bigger than him, but he's a big dude. But he played football, and he's kind of has that switch where he's got like the corporate salesman, smart guy right here, and then he goes into this like dark place that me and Coach AD talk about. When he puts his mind at just about anything, not just football. And I kind of feel like that's where I got it from. He's a real smart guy. He loves history like me. He loves war history like me. He likes crime docs. That's me and him are both nerds. That's how it works. But we have this level of competitiveness that we bring to just about anything, and especially when it comes to sports. Him being a big sports guy, my mom too. Them raising me that way. That's kind of how me and my brothers grew up. So,
before we get to the fan questions, I want to talk about game day, because you're one of my favorite players on the team. Probably one of my favorite players that's ever been on the team. Just because you're just a cool, genuine dude, like the guy you see talking up here. This is Randy, 24/7. A lot of guys have a game day character. Yeah. They get into focus mode. The headphones come on. They lock in. They don't talk. They don't wave. You take it all in. You walk around pregame. You talk. Fans yell at you. You talk back. I've seen you go over and sign autographs. You talk to us. You're just super chill, super relaxed. Have you always been like that, or is that something recent that you've learned to take all this, I guess, journey in? Or
I've always been that way. I think the part that a lot of people they don't see, especially you, is like the drive up to the stadium, the hour, especially like night games. You're just sitting in the hotel room, all day, and I'm very anxious leading up to it, and I get more and more confident as I get closer to the stadium. And by the time I get to the stadium, I'm just excited to play. And I think I say it every week. I'm just like, F the pregame, like I'm ready to just play. Like, let's go, Once I get there, I'm ready to go. And so, but yeah, I like taking it all in. There was a point in time where I wasn't able to do this, and it's fun to go in a stadium like, Minnesota's and beat them there. It's fun to go play in front of our crowd and make a big play and have everyone excited and things like that. So, and also, the fan interaction. I've always wanted to be that guy. That tries to reach out and do what I can. If I have the time to take a picture or sign something, I want to do that. And, so I try to take it all in on game day. And as I get closer to, kickoff, I'm just really zeroed in. Not really a headphones guy. Like you said, I'm just real chill. I just kind of sit and just wait for my time. That's it.
The number you wear has been worn by a couple of very distinguished players here. You have much interaction with Charles Haley and DeMarcus Ware ever?
Charles, not recently. I used to a lot, probably more than I wanted, but a lot.
A lot of people say that about Charles.
Yeah, he knows he's difficult sometimes. He knows that, but he's a good guy, and I've learned a lot from him. DeMarcus, I've actually spoken to him a couple weeks ago, believe it or not. And I think the offseason is going to be the time where me and him probably get together. He's a guy I've looked up to since I was a kid, ever since I knew I was going to play defensive end, being in high school and college, and being able to wear that number and play on the same team that he played and kind of carry on that legacy is a big deal for me. And it's cool,
Very cool. Corey, good to have you here.
Hey, Randy, my name is Corey. I just want to say this before I ask my question. I'm very proud of you for fighting through your adversity and being open about mental health. Just continue doing what you're doing, and God going to continue to bless you.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. My question is, at your position, a lot of people talk about sacks are important, but I also feel like quarterback pressures, hits, and hurries are more just as important as sack. Can you talk about the difference with that and how does that impact the game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to, like you said, you want to impact it any way you can. So pressures are always good. Obviously, the sacks are what everyone wants to look at and see, and that's what's glamorous. That's what's going to get you paid. So I want those numbers. But at the same time, we talk about with like DeMarcus, being able to do things that don't show up on a stat sheet that still affect the outcome, holding calls, it just pressures, hits on a quarterback, things like that, just as big as getting a sack. It really is, in my opinion.
Playing the run and turning a play back in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. You know, I think the casual fan doesn't pick up on that, but the ones that really understand the game can understand and appreciate a pressure as opposed to a sack. You know, I really believe that.
Thanks, Corey.
Hello, my name's Rambo.
How you doing, Rambo?
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Hey, congratulations yesterday on that win.
Thank you.
I have a question. So, for one, I admire your hustle, and of course, I know that maybe, possibly, you don't agree with some of the penalties. But how hard is it?
What gave that away, Rambo? I mean, what made you think that he didn't agree with those penalties?
My question is, if you're going full speed ahead,
Yeah.
how hard is it? I know it's difficult. I mean, it's almost impossible. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I don't play professional football, but I played football before. It's hard to just stop the momentum.
Yeah.
Can you?
How do you do it?
Yeah. How do you? It's almost impossible. Don't you agree?
Look, you know, my job is to, you know, tackle and you know, get the guy on the ground. You know, I'm not in charge of the flags being thrown. Do I feel like our game's kind of gotten soft? Yeah, of course. I really feel that way. But to answer your question, you know, I've played long enough to know when I need to slow down a little bit. If I know I'm not going to get to the ball carrier, I'm not going to sprint, you know, all the way down 50 yards down the field. I'm not going to do it. Or if the guy's close to getting out of bounds, maybe I should not hit him anymore. I guess that's what I should do to avoid penalties. I mean, if he's in bounds, I'll just let him, you know, run out of bounds on his own, I guess, now.
I got to follow up to that. When you got that, I guess that second penalty, Coach walked up to you.
Yeah.
He didn't yell at you, didn't scream. He kind of put his hand on you, and he said something to you. What did he say to you right in there in that moment? Or can you repeat that?
Well, no. I mean, he just basically told me to check back in. Mm-hmm. He said, you know, don't worry about the penalties. Just get back out there. We need you. And honestly, that's what I needed to hear in that moment because I was close to getting over the edge. I was almost already there, but, you know, just having him, you know, neutral mindset. We talk about it. I know. But it becomes a pattern. It becomes a behavior when you really talk about it, really harp on it. And that was a prime example right there.
Also meant he was paying attention to you. He was watching
Definitely.
you. And he knew his player
He's a
right
smart
there.
coach.
Yeah.
Very smart coach.
Hey, listen, I wish we had more time. I apologize for the questions we didn't get in. I can't thank you enough for taking the time tonight.
Appreciate
I know you'd like to be laying down with your feet up, but you're doing that to quarterback, so we appreciate that. Randy Gregory, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Shannon Gross, I'm Brad Sham. We'll see you right back here next Monday night on the Cowboys Hour.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!